And they want to know if you are ready to put everything you have on the line if this thing doesn't go right. But that thing is about what? Trust. Because you can't come to me and say, help me. Doesn't work like that. And I think this is the discussion we must have with our fellow black brothers and sisters. You don't come and ask for financing for your business. Who is the fool here? Already I know, even if you make money and you get paid, I will not see my money until we're now regulating Louis Vuitton Zaha. 2, if you're in business and you have not spoken to your partner, whether it's your wife or your husband, what will happen is the minute you feel a challenge, a child again. What's how you know you won't pay me. What does that do? But if love was part of the budget from the whatever we make, we pay that person. Whether Arana next, we know we've got a relationship that this person will help us. So if it means we must delay buying this house or this car, so be it. Now I'm saying this is not written anyway, but this is what makes people to talk with you and do business with you, or to talk with you when it's what Arabic calls busy. You know, there are 2 relationships when you're working with people. There are people that are just nice people that they will not tell you I want to work with you. But when I'm doing 6 calls of Mahmoud, doesn't really want to work with me. Now you don't blame the person, you must look at you. What is it about me that makes this guy not want to work with me? It's the same thing with you. If you pick up something about someone that makes you uneasy, you won't work with that person. And they are not bad people, they are not. So that's a part of business that is quite key. And that's why you find, and I'll give you this scenario. In South African discourse, you started finding a couple of politicians that were using business people to make money. But you see, the real business people, what you would pick up, will not work with those people. They will rather even try and create a business person out of a young guy who still has a concept of, I want $1 million. And says, we'll give you $1 million, at least 500 euro. And they'll ruin your life. Because the real business people, we can see, because once you've developed the principles in yourself, you can see what is wrong in Kama. I don't want to be part of this thing. I'll give you a simple scenario. COVID happened. And in COVID, we closed down schools. You remember? But someone then issues a contract to go and disinfect schools. There's no one at schools. Remember, schools were closed before there were many cases. But someone says, but there's a way to steal money with this COVID thing. Let's appoint people to go and fumigate schools where there's no one. There's not been a person in the school. I'm trying to show you. But remember, when you're thinking stealing and thinking money, remember, everyone that steals tend to think, no one can see, I'm smarter than everyone. Actually, they even tried to become doctors. You know the people that were thinking of stealing? They tried becoming doctors. And there was one question I asked, which will come to say, when I finished high school, what did I do? And I said, people are dying at hospitals every day with COVID. I've never heard people saying, fumigate mana. No one must come today to Manapo because one person died and the whole hospital is being fumigated. You never heard that. This is where people with COVID are. But we have created contracts to fumigate where there's no one with COVID. I can say now, where was the value in that? There was no value. That was stealing. I know it doesn't make some people politically correct, but I'm just saying, from the guy in government who thought of that, from the businessmen that agreed to that, you just see criminals in that thing. I can say I'm good listener now. And the way it was is that when they started being investigated and their accounts being frozen and what, they wanted to blame many people. You see what is good about criminals? They know how to make things as if others are wrong and I'm right. So I'm saying this is the experience you guys must learn as business people. These are things that are not written anyway. When I then went to university, I studied, because you didn't have an option, so I got a scholarship. I was a top student in the province. I had 100% in maths, 97% in physics. We were still doing the higher grade at that time. So I go to school, the Free State government says we'll give you a bursary. I went and did environmental health. For those who are I'm sure it's one that they'll do, in the fellow. Bakal buat tuing kamar. I'll tell you about tuing. Kasas. No, the Batu Ali one. The original Batu what? It's one. There it's where all the departments were. Young generations okay. Because there's departments of water affairs, housing. Yes, I worked with those guys. Now, you know why I give you those concepts? I had become fortunate to work with very principled people. And that is what you need as a business person. Because when you get surrounded by these ones that says, but we can make this money easy, you're trying to do this thing the hard way. Another connection as CFO. You know, I'm sure you guys have met those many guys. The problem with that is that you can get the deal. Let's all blind. That's when I learned that thing. You know those former administrators, they taught me that. Let's all it comes back 10 years later. But that child do you 10 years ago. Also elevated then we would so I know the belt man now we who pull a child that day. I can tell I'm good listener now. Now let me tell you why we are where we are today. Business people create value by creating jobs in an economy. So as BMF, we fought for the employment equity, this thing now we are getting into democracy. We know the laws of apartheid never allowed black people to become managers and executives and what. That's why the Mahua DA is fighting the Employment Equity Act. Oh, no, this employment equity, because they are realizing they are a smaller population as compared to black people. So if more black people get educated, and it means over time, you get a situation known as Leona Maspali, where all the managers will be black. But it doesn't mean they are competent. You see, we must also look at two things. Black does not mean competent. And when we said that policy, now we said we want competent black people, not black people. But because when the policy was done, all the managers were white. We said you need to find a way of bringing black people that were competent into management positions. Why? The guy that makes a decision on which company to use, if he's white, chances is he does not know even a Sengika, name, right? So even if you're a business guy from there, he does not know about you. Who will he give business to? to a white person. And it's not because naturally he's racist, but this is all he knows. So we had hoped that those that come in as black guys would be able to say, I need to bring other black people in the supply chain, but not just any black person. A person who's good at that, a person who shows value, a person who will create jobs, because this business would normally go to Van der Merwe. I get the construction of roads in Kwak would be done by these guys by Resmeting Wanabamaho, because they had the equipment. So when you move that business this side, you find a guy that also has what? Equipment, that hires people, that pays the people. Same way, remember, business is the same. All we just done is to allow black people to come into the market. Yeah, all of us, we know what we ended up doing. We wanted our girlfriends and our sisters, and they did not have to be business people. In that process, we then dealt with black people that really wanted to be business people. And this is where this whole thing got messed up. So, if you ask me today, why do we have such high unemployment? It's because, and I think the Premier likes talking about it, we started having people that worked for government competing with business people. So they worked for government and they became shareholders in your businesses. But who are not written down? The ones that will say, I'm going to for project and not for guy. In the business I work in, those things, that is wrong. You don't do that. You don't, when you hire someone as a business guy, says, I'm going to 10,000. Who will agree to work for you? You're going to tell me you're going to pay me 10,000. You're saying, it'll put 20 mara. 10,000. But this is what is happening. And a lot of black people, and it's called when you exploit the misery of people. We can't call it business. It's not business. Yeah. Now it comes to my point, my brother, when I was saying, in South Africa, when it comes to black business, we've got the concept that the government and its employees and people that earn salaries are going to develop business people. Renkile dinku, kaifa J-Call, ramakala wani dinku, dilisiko. Business must develop business. Because the people that work, come on, they do not, and I'll put it right, they do not have the same type of mindset as business people. When you decide to take a job, you are risk averse. You don't put everything. I guess I'm good listener. Business people put everything. If I want 10 million, and I'll tell you in my experience with the construction business, if I take 10 million from ABSA, they want to have collateral of everything I own. Right? So that if things fail, they take everything I own. And that's a risk I'm willing to live with. But if I've taken a job, and I earn 1 million or 2 million, and then I still decide on business, and I say, hey, you like I approve this 10 million, 100 million for these guys, I must get something for myself. Now that's a disease we found ourselves in. That people wanted not to put anything, no risk, but to make everything. Sure. So if you ask me, why is the economy in South Africa so sick? It's because of that. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if you ask many people today that have been in business, how many people who have matured as business people do you hear that says, I want to do business with government? None. Why? Because these guys that are working there, when I say government, I'm not talking municipalities or provincial departments. I'm talking anything that, where the people that work there don't generate revenue, don't look for business, money is just given to them. And if we don't discuss this aspects in the ecosystem, like this one, it means you're gonna, and those guys are smart. Remember now, this is their business. In their business, they tell them, China, you know there's 5 of you guys, eh? Man, drink what I found. What would you give to me? It becomes worse with women, right? Because we've put up policies that says women must be given an opportunity to do business. But the same guy with the same thing, when you qualify, you've met the criteria, you've done everything. He says, I can give you this contract. So these are the realities that are there. So, mentor, I was speaking with my brother here and I said, I like what you're doing with the centers of entrepreneurs. But what worries me in what would not make them to give us the fruits we want, if it's when they become too dominated by people who have never run businesses.
So true. So true.
I'm just completing my MBA. And what I learned that business schools do, they do not have staff for MBA. But they get a guy who's good in operations, in business, to come and teach operations. So you're not taught by a guy who's sitting at the school. You're taught by the guy who's doing it every day. Okay. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're taught by the guy who says, I know you'll have that problem.
Yeah.
And this is how I have, in my experience, tried to work around this problem. It's a difference. It's the same as with Silicon Valley, because I think the concept of the centers, as we see them now, is we want to do what China did in Shenzhen with special economic zones, all right? And what we did in Silicon Valley with these innovation hubs. But those innovation hubs are not run by government people, they are run by business. That's why if someone comes with a brilliant concept, there's a business guy that says, Facebook, I'm going to give you money. Let's take this thing international.
Sorry, Mr. President.
Yes.
Colleagues, please log in and take other people because you are live now. I'm gonna send you a link. Or just go to Facebook and type FS Online Plus. FS Online. I know channel like it.
Channel Plus.
Or FS Online Channel Plus. PLUS, not SI. But conveniently, I will also send you a link so that you can.
FS what?
FS Online Channel. You look at FS space online space channel space plus.
FS channel.
FS Online Channel Plus on Facebook. Thank you. You may continue.
Thank you. So I think we're having a feel so that you could understand some of my personal philosophies and my observations, so that when I think today's lesson I'm going to probably speak to you about effectuation, the type of business people that make it, not because they write business plans, but because they see a need and they solve that need. Because that's what business is about. You solve a problem, you create value. And when you solve the problem, you solve it better than those that have thought they are solving it. So on the point I was saying, to say, Silicon Valley, now in South Africa there's a new Silicon Valley, né? It's in Stellenbosch. So what's happening in Stellenbosch is that all these white youngsters, that's why all of them want to study there. Because when I have a concept, I'm more likely to go and take it to Joanne Rupert, to Michael Jordan. These are people that already have the money. I don't have to go to Cedar and what. But remember, if I can get a Joanne Rupert investing in my business, it means I already have all the resources that he has. Lawyers, accountants, every other thing I have. So I'm more likely what? To try and succeed. So I'm trying to show you why these ecosystems are important, that as you build them, don't create the kind of bureaucracy that they are now run more by people that are running them to get a salary.
Yes.
Because then you'll frustrate these colleagues. But if they are interacting a lot of people with people that are in business, they will have a good concept that may require money, and instead of having to apply for 20 plans, they will just get a person that says, I think I trust this idea, I think it will work, I think I've got the market, we need 200,000, I think we can put the money together, let's go. Because end of the day, that's what you need in business. Do you understand each other, colleagues?
Yes. Yeah.
Otherwise, this other model we've been doing, guys, believe you me, end of the day, business is risk. When you do business with the guy who's in business, they know exactly that business is risk. So even if we lose money, I don't cry. We tried it. We could have won, we lost. But if you do business with a guy who's from CEDA, CIFA, and we were speaking with the minister about it, you'll fill in 20 business plans. We are living in a dynamic world. I'm to the business plan. A boy from China comes and sets up that thing and moves.
Yes.
The business is done. Colleagues, I don't know how many of you saw when there was lockdown and they said nothing moves from this country to that country, and Italy had a problem. Italy, when they had a problem with these machines, the Italian companies started working on the scuba diving equipment and giving that to people at hospitals. They quickly changed and did that, and they were still in business.
Wow.
Because business is about responding to what is the problem. We're supposed to sanitize every day. The only things that were sold during COVID was food, was sanitizer, was masks, was this. Now, did the government need to say to people, shut down, sit at home? Or they could have said, the only businesses we allow today is the ones that will produce sanitizer and what. And I tell you, every business person with the money they had, with the factory they had, they would have went back into production of sanitizer. Do you understand, colleagues? Because other countries, that's what they did. America, Ford stopped making cars, went to make these things that are perfume. Like they still have engineers. It will take them 2 or 3 days to have the design, maybe get a prototype, recalibrate the machine. They're in production. So what I'm saying is, as we discuss business, business people always think outside the box. Now, when I did my studies in health, I went and specialized in water quality, air quality, climate change. The government wanted me to work a lot in climate change. So I worked 1 year in Kwakwa at health, then I moved to environmental affairs. But before then, I had worked in 2 places in Harrismith. Harrismith has got a lot of logistics companies. So where I got a mentor in business. So I meet this guy, factory engineer at Nestle, but he ran his business outside Nestle. So he ran a logistics business and he had a car workshop. So I said, man, I want to spend time with you, which is another trick that I want to teach entrepreneurs now. Every business person has got someone they work for free. Because if you work for someone for free, the day you need money, that is the first guy that will back you up without saying, what is your collateral? I'm saying, every business person needs the one person that you work for free. So it means you need to help someone with their idea for free. So that when you do your idea and you need someone who can back you up, when you come to that person and says, this is an idea, that person will not just only invest because it's a good business idea, but they will invest because they understand you as a person.
Yeah.
So when you help them with their things, you prepare that the day you need them, they will be in your corner. Let me show you something. Imagine if you woke up tomorrow and says, can I come and wash your car? He can afford to take it to the car wash. But you're saying, can I come and wash your car at your home? Do you know what that gives you? First thing, he doesn't trust you, he doesn't trust you. He might agree because you're not asking him to pay. He's the business guy end of the day. If business people can get something for free, they'll take it for free. But there's something unique that happens in that aspect. As you wash the car, he's not going to leave you alone with the car. He's going to come and check you. This is the first day you are there. But you do it so diligently, he's going to start asking you about you. I don't know if it makes sense. This is human beings now. He's going to ask you about you. Who are you? Why are you, when you are this old, interested in washing my car? Now you have your 30 seconds to pitch. Who are you?
It always been 30 seconds.
Huh?
It always been 30 seconds.
It's always 30 seconds. So you will never get that 30 seconds and that can I meet you? He's too busy for that. Actually, he meets 200 people that want something from him. So you give something. And I'm not talking only that there's a lot of business people. There's one that it's from Lucas. There's a lot of Lucas Teki, the guys who runs Marine Roberts. These are people from Kwakwa. So these are people that probably come on once in December. But they are business people.
Lucas who?
Lucas Teki. They built that molecular steel. Yes. He was CEO of Marine Roberts. Yeah. You see, I stay here, but I know about them because I go and sit with them. The Defanititi runs Investec. It's the biggest private wealth bank in the world, not in South Africa. But it's from Kwakwa. The trick is, you need to spend time and learn these people and say, what can I do for this person that will put me to be unique? Because that's the very concept of being in business. If you do things that are unique, people want you. You know, when you cook the best scones, people can pass 20 other people that cook scones and come to you. So there must always be something that makes you unique. Now, why I say that concept works is because once you get that 30 seconds, you tell your life story. This is who I am, this is what I've tried, this is what I've tried, and I want to try this thing, and yeah. But I just want to help you. That guy is just happy that for a change, someone wants to help me without wanting my money. But with you, I don't need your money yet. But the day I get a nice order and I need money, because now, let me ask you, you can go and sit with him. I don't know how to implement it. He knows. He says, money, he says, hey, I cannot chill. But already he's vested with you emotionally. And you're the person that helped him for free. Him giving you the 100,000 or him calling a friend, Raymond, on my name, can you give this guy these things I'll supply Maspali? That's all you need. You don't need his money. Sometimes you just need his name. But you won't get the name if the guy doesn't feel you can add value to him.
Yes.
And that's why at times, you'll find people that says, I worked well with your father. He will help you because your father was a good man. So if your father was not a good man, you must be the first one in your family to try and be a good person. So that when you're a good person, they will say, if you are raised by this person, then maybe you're probably, I'll take a chance on you. Remember, everywhere in business, someone always takes a chance on you. Even when someone hires you, qualification, he does not know whether you are a psycho, a drunkard, or what. But they look at this thing and says, let me give a chance. You're going to get to those things. You guys, as people that hire people, you are going to take a chance on someone. So that's how business is. Unfortunately, this you don't learn in any business school. It's how the mindset of people that are in business are as they do this thing. Now, you don't come there, you look like a slayer, you ladies. That guy is not going to take you serious. Because you are all taken care of, you look all proper. He's going to say, why do you need my money for? In actual fact, when your money you prioritize to buy these things and not the things you need for yourself. Because remember, the perception is everything about a guy. I'm not saying you must go look dirty, no. You're a well-kept person, but who knows? I must look like a person who's working. I can say like now those are the things I will show you that help you to build. So I work with this guy. He was a factory engineer. He teaches me everything about his mechanical workshop. He had a lot of these guys that could work with him, but what he liked with me is that, oh, this one is smart. This one can put everything we talk about and put it in writing. You see, so I became that guy that is like a PA to him. This thing and this thing must be ordered. Now I put them in writing. I make sure these guys have done it. But I was a youngster. But he's just like that hey, he picks up quickly and... But now I'm learning the business. Now this is a guy now that's... So that later on, when I need a favor, he's the guy that's in my corner. So the day I've pulled my own deal, I even tell him, hey, man, these people, I'm too young for this deal. You're not going to take me serious. What will he do? He goes with me to the deal as if he's part of the deal. That's all I need him to do. So I need his influence for this thing that I'm doing to happen. So I'm saying as a business person, that's why you can never have this concept of saying, I'm running this thing alone. You can't, you're going to fail. You might get 1 or 2 deals, but you won't grow the way you want to grow. And 2, the one thing that also a lot of black business people don't do, if someone helps you, whether it's an accountant, a lawyer, a what, you pay for their service. In actual fact, you ask him, how much do you normally charge people? Oh, you say, 5,000, okay. Unfortunately, now I don't have the 5,000, but I do have 500. Do you know that guy respects you? Oh, this is a person that pays their bills. So at least a contract. You can come and be honest and say, hey, but I don't have the money now. So you realize how you work with these people. But remember, what you need is that when I work with you and check who's your accountant, and it's someone known in the business space, we trust already your work. I can say as well. So what I'm saying is, don't despair in saying where you come from. The reason why I told you the story of where I come from, I'm going to take you to the next part of my life, where I operate now. Say, this is where I learned all these principles. But these are the principles that allowed me when I had left Harrismith now, to be able to build stronger relationships than even back home. Back home here, some of the business people knew me, business people, do you know this guy called Musevits? Like, that young boy. Do you realize what I'm saying? But because the guy who's speaking is bigger, he will not also want to downplay, because if he downplays me and speaks bad, then the guy knows this guy gave problem, because this young man has never spoken bad about him. So that's also important in how you speak in business circles. Yeah.
Yes.
I can say, well, I'm good one. No. Believe you me, when you come from God, Ufika Joven, and you ask him for business, they'll ask where you from. I'm from God. Do you know that definitely? If you say I don't, crisis. You need to know who are the business people from where you come from. You might say I'm not close to him, but I know of him. Then he says, no, one day I'll make it. Because people who are in there, they brag. They'll say, no, I'll invite you to dinner one day. He's a friend of mine. Hey, no national 2 contact. You see, you've got this guy, he's giving you the other contact of where you come from. But if you create this perception that you don't like the people before you, it's wrong. There are people now I used to say I don't like, mostly in political circles. People used to be angry at me for 5, 10 years. Today, most of those people says, I think, young man, you were right. We didn't see, we apologize because when you told us this thing or this guy is going to mess up, we just thought you were being bitter. But you study human beings. I can say that I'm now, that is the first part of business. This is not in your syllabus. It's never in the syllabus, that part. But this is how you stay in that space. If the meeting is at 8, you are there 7:30. You are there prepared. Because those are important things. I always say, all of us, we tend to drink. Ne? When you're doing business with people, you come there sober. I can see you understand that now. Because image is then everything. Because you may come to a meeting with me and you're asking for resources from me. And I see a drunk guy and says, but when you were drinking your resources yesterday? So these are important things, colleagues. So once I worked with the guy, when I was at varsity, I used to take a vacation job in Mountain View Dairy with a white guy called Leach. Why did I take Leach? Leach owned agro-processing facility in Harassment. He owned the abattoir in Bloemfontein. He owned the dairy, the Ego Harassment, closer towards that Nieuwe Yard Dam. It's still there. But equally. So this is also what I said to him. I said, look, Leach, I'm here, it's holidays. I don't have anything to do. I'll walk from the township, I'll come here. You don't need to pay me, but give me full access to your business. If you're not paying me, Chief, I can't take information. And you work diligently. You're there every day, every day, every day. Why? When I was there, I knew of every supplier I had. So I knew the black farmers that supply him. I was doing product development and testing to introduce new products. He was only doing fresh milk. I helped him to introduce the mass. I helped him to introduce the yogurt. If you saw those Mountain View Dairy products, I helped to create those. Because I was doing product development at school. I was doing food safety as part of my qualifications. But I said, I needed to go and practice this thing somewhere. So that later on, when I put in my reference that I developed yogurt, and someone says, where? I say, you see there, I get all the resources. Because you also need to know, I'm not going to have money to buy the laboratory equipment, the testing equipment, the what, but I've got an idea of my own. So I need to find a way to help the guy that has the resources so that he can allow me free time to do the things I want to do. It's the same as if you want to use a computer, you don't have a computer at home, you go to the library and says, can I pack your books and shelves? And then you get the time of the packing, there's a computer. Why are you using the computer? Now you can do your own things. So it's about, first accept where you are. And see the resources that are close to you. But commit more of yourself in getting those resources. Now in 2013, he was ready to sell me the dairy. What messed up that deal was, I was still in from Aerosmith. We do the valuation. I get some guys from Joburg that I knew. 11 million. Okay. 11 million. We must go and raise it. But remember, this guy is not selling this business because he feels he's selling it to someone. He's selling this business to someone that started with him in 2007. But unfortunately, in 2013, I'm just 25 years old. So you don't even have the 11 million. So I must go and raise the partners. And like any other business deal, that was one of my first business deals that fell through. Not because the guy was not ready to sell to me, but because when I wanted to go to the DFIs and what, some older guys thought they could steal this thing from me. Because Bona, they just thought, why is this guy selling this deal here? And I think all of you know, then there was the Friday dairy thing that was done by Estina for 600 million. I just needed 11 million for a dairy that was running with suppliers. So that was the first opportunity where you miss. Okay, the deal did not happen. I couldn't raise funding. It happens to any entrepreneur. You don't quit being a business person because at that time you didn't raise funding. You start saying, now with people that kind of money is not really an issue. I can say I'm good reason now. So this is the journey in business. So when I went back,